Welcome to the Business Building Boutique podcast for new life coaches. If you are a newly certified coach who's trying to figure out how to grow your business, you're in the right spot. Join me each week to learn simple business growth strategies along with step-by-step marketing tips to get you seen by clients in your niche. I'm going to be your guide. I'll tell you what to do so you can feel confident in your business. And here's the truth, ladies. You can build your dream coaching business without paid ads and without a fancy sales funnel. So if that sounds interesting and you're ready to get more paid clients, then let's get started. Welcome to the podcast. Today, we are going to be talking about your offer. I know we've talked about the branding, we have talked about the lifestyle, about your copywriting, and today we're going to talk about the offer. So how are you guys? I hope you're enjoying this. I'm sure that you're learning some things and that you've got some questions, and I would love to be able to talk to you about what's coming up for you. I want to invite you to have a phone call with me. The link is in the show notes, but you can also head over to my website, shadid.com, and be able to schedule an assessment there. I'll take a look at your business, find out what's happening for you, and make some recommendations, and we can talk about what happens in the Business Building Boutique. All right, let's talk about pillar 4 today, which is the offer. We're going to talk about crafting your unique offer. We're going to briefly talk about defining your process, about the support you might be giving, about the results that you provide, and we're going to be talking about why you sell what you sell. Let me just say that when we work together, there is no generic offer. You will not be offering 6 months for $5,000 just because that's what everyone else does. That's what I hear happens in the coaching business when I talk to people that are new or that are inquiring about joining the Business Building Boutique. I'll say, well, what's your offer? And they'll give me some answer that's just, well, 12 weeks for this or 6 months for this. And when I ask them why they come up with that price and why that many weeks, they don't actually have an answer, except that's what everybody else does. So today I'm going to share a process, 5 steps you can take to get really clear on your offer so that you will know exactly what to charge. I'm going to map out everything that you need to know, and this is what you do with your clients. You will map out this process step by step for yourself, and that's going to be able to help you with your offer. If you are like many of my other clients, you have read so many things, you've taken lots of classes, and you have lots of ideas. You might even have notebooks full of notes. Actually, I'm pretty sure that you do. You probably might even have a program that you have written out, but you actually haven't created an offer, right? So that's what we're going to do today, is really put that offer together so you can actually put it out into the world. Let me share 5 steps that you can do today to help you get clear on that offer. Number 1, list all of the problems that fit underneath the umbrella of your niche. Now, some of you guys are general life coaches, and I just want to invite you to think about the things that you most often coach on. That could fit underneath the umbrella of what we'll call your niche. I also want to just stop for a moment and have you notice the resistance that you have when I talk about narrowing down a niche. Your brain is designed to keep you safe, and it's going to be telling you that there's all the other things that you want to coach on, and that you're too afraid to narrow down your niche because you'll get it so small you won't actually get the right clients. And you won't make enough money. There's not enough people who want to buy what you have to sell. And that is just not right, you guys. I can tell you time and time again, if we can get very clear, just like I talked about in the copywriting, if we can get very clear about what your person needs, and then we can articulate it, you're going to be able to sell coaching so much better. So the number 1 thing is to list the personal problems that person has that fit under the umbrella of your niche. Number 2, think through the process for coaching that person, coaching them to the result. How much time is that going to take? How many steps are you going to have to take them through? What is the awareness they're going to have? How are you going to teach them? Lay out each piece of the puzzle from the beginning of where they are to where they want to go. I want to know how many weeks that's going to take and what that process is going to look like. The third thing I want you to do is to anticipate roadblocks. They're going to come up against some resistance of their own. They're going to have some challenges as you work together. And I want you to plan for those within the time frame that we talk about planning for your client. You want to allow enough time for everybody to get the result, to go through your process without rushing. We want to make sure they have plenty of time in case their bratty brain gets them off track, in case it takes a little bit longer to get them clear on where you're trying to take them. You want to allow for that time. All right, number 4 is to consider how you can get them the results sooner, right? Because really, people want to get something fixed today. So you might actually look after you have listed their problems and you've listed through the process and you've anticipated the roadblocks in those first 3 steps, you might actually look at what you could eliminate. Is any part of what you're doing unnecessary? Could you remove it? People are in a hurry to get a result. And oftentimes, I believe if you can get your client a result sooner, they will see the value in your work and likely buy coaching from you again. So is there a faster period of time that you can get them the result? Maybe there's not. And then based on those first 4 items, the last step in this is you're going to determine how many weeks you need for your client. You're going to put each of those pieces in and come up with the time. Once you've gotten clear on what your client needs time-wise to get that result, you can now take into consideration the level of service that you want to provide for that person. This could also change the amount of time that you spend on that client. You might not just be spending 1 hour for coaching. If you're going to provide Voxer access, if you're going to provide email access, if you're going to do Ask a Coach, you might be providing some other kind of unique support. Maybe you're making a meal plan, a fitness plan. Those things are in addition to the time that you work with the client. Also, when you put together your offer, are you going to make any kind of promises? Are you going to give any kind of guarantees? Sometimes the offers that I see people make that involve a guarantee actually promise more time if you don't get the result. That's something to consider when you create your offer. I also want you to ask yourself, is the offer that you're thinking about when you go through this process, is the offer that you're thinking about the best offer for your ideal client? If we think about the cream of the crop, like the best person you could work with, the person who is going to do the work, who is going to come and be ready to be coached, who is committed to getting the results, who's going to pay you without complaining, all those things, is the offer that you are going to create best for them. Some of my clients work with very busy professionals and they don't want to take a long time with a coach. So they're looking for like 30-minute appointments or 45-minute appointments in a very short amount of time. And they don't want to mess around with any other nonsense. They want to come in and get something solved and get on with it. Some people that I work with might be offering a service where they know that this Voxer support is very important. They know that their clients maybe got some trauma that they're processing and they want to be able to give them that extra support. But when you think about your client and the cream of the crop, the very best, you want to consider that offer. You want to make sure that it's the offer for that person. Let me ask you about this cream of the crop client too. Think about that, you guys. We haven't talked in depth about your ideal client, but make sure that when you are talking in your marketing, in your copy, in your messaging, that you are speaking to that person, not to everybody in general, but to the person that you know will pay you for coaching. All right, the second part of this offer is to think about the lifestyle that you want to have and about the business that you want to have. I talked about that in episode 101, where we talked about building this business that will support you. It's focused on creating a business that is your dream lifestyle. I mean, if you wanted to work for somebody else, you would be, but you're an entrepreneur because you want to have, most people want to have freedom in their schedule and they want to have the ability to make more money. So if you think about that, what is the dream lifestyle that you have? And does this offer that you've kind of just mapped out fit that lifestyle? For example, if your client needs Voxer access, do you want to do that? Do you want to make yourself that available? If your client wants to meet you before work because you're a busy executive, are you willing to get up at 6 a.m. and have coaching calls? Are you willing to do coaching in the evening if you coach only professional women and the only time they could work with you is in the evening? Are you willing to work on the weekends? All those kind of things you want to take into consideration. You want to make sure that you create something that works for you and also that will fit into the hours, the business hours, as I said, that you want to work during the day. I don't love working at night. I'm not my best at night. I am the best for you guys during the day. And so my business is built to be working during the day. When I work with professional women, they work with me over their lunch hour because I don't want to work in the evening. So that's my choice. That's how I've designed my business. That's what I want you guys to consider. All right, let's talk about the different types of offers that you could have. You can dream up anything you want. Really want to encourage you, think out of the box on this because the offer that you create is the offer that supports them and it supports you. So let's talk about what that could be for you. Most of you think about private coaching, and that's great. But again, your private coaching could be all different time frames. It could include those other services. Maybe you do group coaching. Are you going to do group coaching once a week, twice a week? Maybe you do a group coaching, private coaching combo. That actually is my favorite way to do coaching, is to do group coaching and private coaching. Maybe you have a client that is very busy and that needs to have really intensive work, and maybe you'll set up a VIP day. I know some of the business professionals, coaches, they'll do like VIP days with their clients because they can't do the day in and day out, but they could carve out a day or two to really go all in on their business. Maybe you've got a client that has so much going on at home that a VIP day would be exactly what they need because you would get them away from the house and meet them at a separate location and really be able to have their undivided attention for several hours, and you work through all of it in one day. You could also do Voxer coaching only, email coaching only. I have seen coaches sell just that because in their personal life, they have little kids at home and they can't carve out that time. Without daycare, they can't carve out that time at home to be on Zoom all the time. So they're doing email coaching or Voxer coaching. Do you want to include Ask a Coach? Do you want to have education modules? I love that. Do you want to have workbooks and journals that you provide for them? Are you going to offer email and text support? What about one-off emergency sessions? I have a client that I am very excited about. She's going to be doing one-off emergency sessions as part of what she sells. Like by this many hours, we're going to set up a schedule. And then 2 times during the time we work together, when you're in crisis mode, you text me and I'll be with you in the next X amount of hours. That's pretty cool. You could also sell small packages of coaching, like 3 sessions with no consultations. I have another client doing that. So think about what fits you best, all right? In the Business Building Boutique, you guys, I feel like I have taken everything into consideration, every aspect of it. I have all of those pieces because I want to be able to provide an all-inclusive, really very comprehensive support to supporting you guys in building your business. I want to give you everything you need and more. So you've got education that you can watch and access at any time. I've got workbooks. Some people love to do the homework and they want to have like, tell me the next thing to do. Now, there's no homework required in my program, but some people like that. They like the accountability. I have a Facebook group. We do weekly email check-ins to support and help keep people on track. The people that come to me, they've tried to do it on their own. They've maybe even worked with other coaches where there's been group coaching, but they haven't had the individualized attention. And they're at a point where they're like, look, I need to get my business built. I've wasted too much time. I need accountability. I want somebody to be guiding me. I want that kind of attention. So that's built into my program. We do the weekly email check-ins. You guys have text and email access to me because people write copy. You know, they'll be working on their website and they want me to review it between now and the time that we meet again. I also offer private coaching with my group coaching. We also offer mindset coaching. One of the things that I was finding out is I can teach you all of the how-to things in your business, and I can be there and believe for you when you don't believe in yourself, and I can show you how to do it, but there still sometimes is a roadblock. That bratty brain of ours sometimes really throws up lots of objections because you're really going to put yourself out there and get in business and get booked when you work with me. It's sort of like the playing around and pretending is done. So if you're a coach that really wants to be in business, really wants to have paid clients, really wants to make money this year, then we should work together. That's what I do. But this mindset piece is to help you get through that, because everybody gets stuck. As you are becoming the next person, your next level, your future self, you're going to come up against objections, the silent objections that wouldn't even know what's going on, where your business has stalled out or where you have another idea. And I have the mindset coaching in place to keep you on track. I also offer those templates. We've talked about that. I have tons of Canva templates so that you guys don't have to figure out what your social media graphics should look like. There's social media content that you can copy, email templates you can use, so you don't have to figure that out. I offer workshops and office hours. So my program is very comprehensive, but I've looked at all the needs that you have. I have looked at the time that I have to devote to it, and that's how I designed my program. All right, you guys, I want to leave you here because I know I've given you a lot to think about. In this episode, we don't need to go on and on. I just want you to think about the process, the roadmap that you're going to have for taking your client from where they are to where they need to be. And then I want you to think about your ideal client. Is that what they actually will pay for? And then I want you to follow that by thinking about the desired lifestyle that you want. Take this time to create this process. List out all the steps that it's going to take. And the reason why you want to do this is because you will be able to sell your coaching so much better. When I talk to people and we're in a consultation call, or I meet them somewhere and they ask me, what do you do? It's so easy for me to describe the process because I know exactly what it is. I know about this branding piece that we talk about. Even if you already have a business logo and a brand, there's still some elements that we're going to look at. I know about teaching you about writing copy, about helping you find exactly what's going on with your customer. We talk about the offer. We talk about the pricing. I know my process, and so it's so easy to sell. You also actually will coach better because I created this process with you in mind. I know what you guys need, and it's a lot of stuff that you didn't even know that you needed. So I know how to take you from step to step to step. A lot of times people will come work with me and they'll say, oh, I don't need that part. Like, I already have a website. And I'll say, look, just trust the process. Let me take you from step 1 to step 2 to step 3, because each one of those steps will reveal something else to you. And every time I do that with somebody who thinks that they already know something, they come back and say, well, you're right. I didn't actually understand that in the same way. I do have a website, but now I really understand how I want my website to be. I understand how I want to utilize my website to build my business. So take that time to create the process so that you can create an offer that is going to be the perfect offer for your dream client and be the offer that will give you the lifestyle, both time-wise and money-wise, that you desire. All right, you guys, have an incredible week. I cannot wait to touch base with you. I would love to hear what you think about the business building boutique pillars that you've heard so far. And please leave me a review for the podcast. If you feel like you're learning lots from this podcast, I would love to have a review from you and love to talk again to you personally. All right, you guys, have an amazing day. Until next time, bye-bye. That's it. Thanks for listening. Now it's up to you. Put what you learned today into action. Do what you need to be seen and then hired by clients in your niche. And if you're ready to stop wasting your precious time and get your business finally booked up, you're invited to join me in the Business Building Boutique for New Life Coaches, where you will learn everything you need to be a coach with plenty of paid clients. All right, have an amazing week. Until next time, bye-bye.